A historic win by Britain's Labour Party has shaken up the political landscape in the United Kingdom. And joining me now to talk more about what Canada's relationship will look like under a Labour government is Mel Cappe, a former High Commissioner for Canada in the UK. Mel, good to speak with you.
Nice to be here.
First, maybe give us an idea of what Keir Starmer brings to the table. What could this mean for Canada?
Well, first of all, he's a former public servant. He was the director of public prosecutions in the Crown Prosecution Service. He was a defense lawyer before that. He's trained in the law, but he did get a degree from Oxford, but his first degree was actually from Leeds. And so he's very proud of the fact that his father was a tool and die maker and that he comes from simple background. He doesn't have any governing experience as such beyond the administrative in the Crown Prosecution Service, but I think he will bring a recognition of a need to ally with other like nations, and Canada and our current Prime Minister, who's well experienced internationally, will be an ally.
Justin Trudeau issued a statement congratulating the new PM today, saying the two will work to conclude the trade deal. I'm curious from your perspective how big of a priority you think this will be for Starmer.
Not very much. He has a major job to do in repairing the relationship with the European Union. He needs to get a trade deal with Europe more than he needs a trade deal with Canada. 300 million people, 40 million people. I choose the EU. In fact, for Canada, we have the comprehensive economic and trade agreement with the European Union that Britain is not a part of anymore. And the 60 million people of Britain, yeah, we would like to have a deal with them, but it won't be a very high priority for us either. The only other thing is to note that beef, cars, and cheese are major awkwardnesses, if not difficulties, in the negotiation, and it'll take a long time before we get over those humps, in particular because the House of Commons has strapped one of our arms behind our back. In C-282, it passed legislation that said our trade negotiators cannot negotiate on milk and milk products, and I think that is lunacy.
This election win also comes less than a week before NATO leaders gather in Washington for the annual summit. We know the previous UK government was putting pressure on Canada and other NATO allies to, even further increase defense spending. Do you see that pressure subsiding at all under the Labour Party?
No, I think Keir Starmer and his new foreign minister, David Lammy, and David Lammy has very close relations with Canada, and he goes back to the Gordon Brown administration when Labour formed government. And Lammy, as a foreign minister, foreign secretary, will want to have good relations with Canada, but will pressure us to up our ante in terms of our military spending as a member of NATO. The NATO meeting in July 9th, I believe, in Washington, will be a place for Keir Starmer to make friends with other countries, but they will have no change in their policy on NATO, no change in their policy on nuclear weapons and the Trident submarines, and I think no change, if not a hardening, of their policy on Israel-Gaza. Starmer has been a very strong supporter of Israel. However, in this election, there were 4 independents elected who were defenders of Gaza against Israel, and that will have a cautionary effect on both Lammy and Starmer.
All right. Mel, I want to thank you so much for your insight tonight. It was great speaking with you.
Thank you.